Hi, I'm Jenna, also known as Retro Lemon, and this is episode 25. Big welcome to all the returning viewers, and then a big welcome to all the new viewers. Our group, Retro Lemon Studio on Ravelry, is up to 383 members. Woo, woo. So when we get up to 400 members, we'll do some sort of giveaway. Yay! So keep on joining. Let's see. First things first, the knit along. It is the July-August knit along, and today is August 1st, so the knit along is officially half over. We already have 36 entries right before I sat down to record. And I will apologize right now in case it seems a little dark. It got really overcast, like right as I was setting up to sit down, and so I do have the overhead light on. Not the best lighting. I guess I'm recording about a hour later than I usually do, and I'm like, I would have recorded on time, it would have been fine. But anyways, back to the knit along. Already 36 entries. That's awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So I can't wait to see what this month is going to bring. Just as a reminder, the knit along does close on the 29th, I believe. It's Wednesday, the last Wednesday of the month. At noon, I will lock the thread shortly before I record, so make sure you get all your toys entered then. Yay! So, this week's pattern that I thought I'd tell you a little about, because I don't think I've ever had this on the show, is Molly. This is Molly the Traveling Turtle. I just love her. Love her. But I love all my patterns, so I'm a little biased, I guess. Anyways, this Molly, this is the original, I guess you'd call her. Oh, she's got a piece of fuzz. The original Molly, the prototype that finally worked. It's so funny. I have like this little pile of samples that went wrong. And my kids usually end up claiming them. My one son found an orbit that just, it wasn't working, and he's like, hey, where did this come from? And I was like, oh, that's an orbit that Mommy decided not to use for the pattern. He's like, well, what are you going to do with it? I said, oh, I'm going to send it to the island of misfit toys. He went, you can't do that because I love him. He goes, well, can I have him? I said, well, I guess. So the flop of an orbit is now being well loved and is not going to the island of misfit toys. So this is Molly. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. It's hot today, and I'm feeling like woo. And it's not so much that it's hot. It's already upper 80s, and it's around 1 o'clock, 1:30. But it's the humidity. The humidity is just knocks your breath away. So I wanted to show, because I used for this, it is Patton's Classic Tweed. So it's brown, and this tweed has orange, yellow, and green speckles. And normally I don't like colored tweed speckles. But for this it just works well. And then I think I used Lion Brand Wool Ease, because the green matched the green in the shell perfectly. See if it'll pick up some of those little specks. So I think tweedy shelled Mollies are my favorite. But Molly also looks good in variegated. Hair. I'm like, they've just been sitting here the last few days. So this is Dancing Dog Dye Works in the Molly colorway, which looks very much like my website. And Kiwi Green, I believe, for the green. And then you should see, if you're interested in making a Molly, or you have the pattern and haven't made it yet, go check out what people have done with Molly. They've decorated her shell. Some people have done color work. Like someone went and took it and did hearts all over. It's so cute. And then Molly, if you like bright, this is Knit Picks Chroma. This is the Lollipop colorway. And then this was Knit Picks Wool the Andes, and I believe it's called Tulip, and it's discontinued. but I picked it because it matched the pink in it, but you can do blue, green. So I just wanted to show a few fun ways. It's a very versatile pattern. You can really customize it. Have fun with it. Molly. So moving right along, I have no finished objects this week. This week has been crazy. August is the craziest month of the year for me. Not only is it back to school time, so we're trying to get all that ready. It's also the big birthday palooza for my children. My kids, the twins obviously share a birthday. So then my daughter's birthday is only 2 weeks apart from them. So we just have one big party. It's cheaper that way. You're only cooking food once for everybody. We don't always do goodie bags. I hate goodie bags. That's just me. Last year I made little sewn critters for everybody to take home. I don't have time this year. So that has had me busy. And then a good update on the knee. My knee is back to normal. It is great. It is awesome. They have cut my therapy by a week, so tomorrow is my last day. Oh yeah, little dance again. Tomorrow is my last day of therapy. So they really worked me good yesterday. I had to take a nap because I was exhausted. And so far so good. But once again, I apologize. I feel horrible. There are so many groups that I participate in and belong to that I am behind on threads and keeping up with everybody. So I just haven't had time to be online. Just trying to get the yard ready and the house ready and just school and oh my goodness. So sorry for the rambling. I don't usually ramble quite this much, I don't think. But that's the reason I have no finished objects. It wasn't for lack of trying. So, works in progress. I have been working on my traveling sweater, and the traveling sweater has traveled. Let's see, it is the traveling sweater by A. Karen Alfke, I think. Traveling sweater. That's what it'll look like when it's done. Hopefully. Now, last week I had like yay much done. I ripped it out. Almost all of it. All but like the first 11 rows. Because here's the problem with the sweater. This is what I've gotten done in the last week. It's taking me forever. Size 3s with sport weight yarn. Not my favorite. And then it's ribbed. It's, 2x2 ribbing. So, the sweater says you're supposed to measure for your bust. Well, according to that measurement, I needed the larger size. But if you go and you look on the pattern page, they say, don't go by your bust size, go by the width of your back. Crap. The width of my back says I need the smaller size. What's a girl to do? Because if I make the large size, it'll fit across the bust, but it'll be huge in the back. I don't want to look like I'm swimming in my sweater. I paid a lot of money for this woo-boo yarn. I don't normally use what the pattern calls for, but in this case, I wanted it drapey and I wanted it to look like the one on the pattern, so that's what I did. I said it took me 2 years to start the sweater because I've been so nervous about the sizing. So, finally, after a little bit of chatting in the Socks That Rocks group, there's a traveling sweater knit-along thread. And I've come to the conclusion, after seeing other people do this, I went and cast on, well, I had already cast it on, so I just had to rip back. And I'm using the length, so I cast on the same amount of stitches it calls for the larger size. But now that I'm getting into the rows, I'm only doing the amount of rows it calls for the small size. So I'm still going to get some extra length in the front, so hopefully it'll close a little more. Because I really like that, you know, the girls on the cover, it's all wrapped around them and everything. But I don't want all that extra width in the back and have my sweater look like it doesn't fit. So that's what I'm doing. I cast on for the amount of the large, but I'm doing the rows, the amount of rows, for the small. Hopefully it'll fit in the back and still kind of come close to closing in the front. Because they're like, well, if you're a bustier girl and you make the small because it'll fit in the back, they're like, well, you can just wear it like a bolero. I'm like, that's not what I want. I want a jacket type. Like more of a, you know, like the pattern. So hopefully that'll remedy it. I'm kind of frustrated just at the lack of sizing options. That's all. So, but hopefully since I'm kind of doing a mashup of the two, it'll work out. So this is one wedge. I think I have like 8 more of these wedges to go. So, I'll get there. Slowly but surely. Like I said, this is the Blue Moon Fiber Arts Woo Boo in the Ravenscroft colorway, which is gray, and it's hand painted with some olivey green and some kind of foresty green, and it's very subtle. I doubt that the camera will probably pick up the color. So, like I said, I had to rip back like a whole section of short rows. I was pretty frustrated, to say the least. But like I said, I started it, and I really don't want it to take a year or something for me to finish it. I'd like to finish it, I don't know, by spring? Maybe. But it's a simple knit. Like, I don't even usually take the directions with me, because I'm in a part where, as long as I'm using stitch markers to tell me where I'm at, I don't need the pattern. It's that simple. Next, my leaf hat. It has been a week for ripping out. I went and I had done the ribbing, and I was 2 rows into the actual pattern the last time you saw it. So the other day I sat down and I thought I was following the pattern up right. Somehow I ended up with an extra 2 stitches every repeat. I'm like, this isn't right. So then I reread the directions, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I put an extra knit 1 front and back in there somewhere. I probably was working on it late, and so I had to rip. I had gone and worked 6 more rows, so I was up to row 8 when I realized my mistake, and then I had to rip back down to row 2. I wanted to like throw this in the corner and put it on timeout, but I thought, no, I at least need to get back up to row 8. So that's where I am. I got through row 8, so not a lot of progress yet. Let's see if I can I don't know that the pattern will really show at all. Like I said, it's supposed to be leaves. And I think I have a set over here. The fur got a little rumpled. Dropped the bag. It is Leaf Hat by Betty Balcom. It is a free pattern from Cascade Yarns. See, sorry it's in black and white. I don't know if you will be able to see the leaves well enough. But it is a very pretty pattern. And at the top there's like this little stem looking thing. And I'm not doing that. So when the decreases stop, I will just stop as well. And then I am using Cascade 220 Superwash in the burnt orange colorway on size 8. Now it says to work on a circular needle, a 16-inch circular, but you know the little needles are like this big, like 2.5 inches, and they're just too short for my liking, so I'm just using double point needles because I like them better. And unfortunately, my Even Star got no love this week. None whatsoever. There's a reason. See, I told you the big birthday thing's coming up. Well, we have one big party. Each kid gets a cake. It's a lot of cake. And they all have to be different flavors. That's my rule. So what we do for presents is on their real birthday, They still get a cake, they get to pick out what they want for dinner, and they get one gift. And it's usually something handmade. And then at the party, they get their store-bought gift. So the reason I haven't worked on my Even Star is because I normally work on my Even Star after the kids go to bed and it's quiet. Because I cannot work on that with them running around the house and all that. Well, since the kids are home and I cannot work on their birthday presents in front of them, I have to work on them after they go to bed. So I'm trying to like wrangle up all my pieces here. So I've been working on the presents instead of the Even Star. So once I get the gifts done, which is close, and I am working on 2 at once. And that is only because I decided, missing an arm somewhere. I better do all the limbs first, and like, since I have twins, and I'm making them the same thing, they wanted the same thing. Like, I started with the arms. So here's 2 arms for Liam, the lanky robot. And this is being worked in Dancing Dog Dye Works. Robot is the variegated, and Royal is the blue. So I decided, well, if I'm doing the arms for one, I just decided to do the arms for the other one at the same time. Like, just cranked out 4 arms in a row. Because by the time you do one arm, you really don't need the pattern for the other ones. And this is Dancing Dog Dye Works as well. And this is the gray, white, and red. And it's named after a fish that starts with an A that I can't pronounce. I don't even have, like, the ball band anymore, I don't think, to try. So if you look in my stash, it's the Dancing Dog Dye Works, Walsworth. Mine says a ... a fish. Because I can't pronounce it. I couldn't even tell you how it's spelled. So, 2 Liams in the works. So I have arms for both done. And they're not stuffed yet. So they still look a little floppy. Both sets of legs done. I'm missing an antenna, but I do have both sets of antennas done. And then I have started the body of one of them. And that, like I said, is the Robots colorway. Because making a robot had to be out of the Robots colorway, right? Some of my patterns, like Molly here, I think Molly is worked best with Magic Loop on a circular needle, because she's pretty much flat until you stuff her. Liam is round, and I like working Liam on double points. Any of my patterns, you can work on double points or on Magic Loop. It doesn't matter. I try most of the time to write in the instructions, tell you how to do either way. I wish I knew where that other antenna went. I might have dropped it somewhere. Because I just thought if I got all the limbs out of the way, as soon as the bodies were done, I can just stuff it all, assemble. So this week it was all about the toys. And I have so many more toys to make. I swear half my family was born in August. We have cousins that we have birthday parties for that I have to make critters and... So it kind of works out well that Ravelenix is going on, and I'm in the Knittables, on Team Knittables, and it's toys. It's all about the toy toss. Yay! I love toys. Let's see. Yarny goodness. Let's see. I did a special order with Dancing Dog Dye Works for this. This is her Flamenco DK. It is 100% superwash merino, 231 yards per skein. And this is bright tropical blue, and it is gorgeous. I love this color blue. And release my Kraken. which is a bunch of different shades of orange. There's like a yellowy orange, a reddish orange, a true orange, yellowy, just a real... There's one that's almost like a peachy orange. And I special ordered these because, right, I had the pattern sitting right here. It's under Molly. I don't want all the Mollies to fall on the floor. I am going to make, I'm nervous about these, the octopus mittens. So the pattern originally calls for, what is, I don't even know that I'll pronounce that right, the Sanguine Griffin Traveler yarn. But of course that company is no longer, but I do know they've branched out to 2 different companies. One was Cephalopod Yarns, which I'm like, how cute is that? But the problem with that is it's expensive. It's really expensive, and those colorways aren't available anymore. Now, if you see here, there's a really bright pair, and there's a darker pair. It's the same orange, but it's a different blue, and it's a much darker blue. I don't like that blue. I wanted the bright. So, when I was thinking about it, I have a skein of worst of this, and of this as well, but I needed a DK. So this is going to be my octopus mittens, and this is going to be what I'm going to try and knit for this September-October knit-along we're going to do. So I have gotten a lot of positive feedback at my mention and asking what people thought of the next knit-along, because I thought, like I said, it's September and October. So we're starting to get back to school. It's going to start cooling down a little. And then come November, we'll be gearing up for holidays. So I thought, what better than to try to get gifts done early or get stuff, you know, knitted to be ready for the cold weather. So that will be the September-October knit-along. It'll be fall-winter accessories, which will include cowls, scarves, mittens, fingerless mittens, gloves, fingerless gloves, because I know not everyone lives in a climate where you need, like, really heavy hats and gloves. But yeah, and then hats, you know, anything, accessories for the cooler weather. And but no shawls, no socks, you know, I said for your hands, your head, and your neck. Next we'll be moving into tools of the trade. Now, while I didn't get a stitch knitted on my Even Star, I did finally find the Oral-B Super Floss. Now, I had to go to 3 different stores looking for this, and it took me a little while, and I don't have a crochet hook small enough to fit through the size 8, I think they're 8s, the size 8 seed beads, because I have a bunch of the little steel, like, doily crochet little hooks, and I don't have one small enough. I don't know how small I'd have to go. I think my smallest one is a size 10. So I just thought, I'm just going to give this a try. I've watched the tutorial that the Knit Girls did on how to use it, and I'm pretty confident that this is the way to go for me. So I found it at CVS. I know other people have said they found theirs at Walgreens, but we don't have a Walgreens. Walmart didn't have it. I was really surprised. So, probably Super Floss. And then, now I had mentioned last week about my friend Sherry. I mentioned her a lot on the podcast, and I totally acknowledge that. And I had said, I was like, oh, well, maybe she'll co-host. Yeah, I got a text message that evening, because she's like one of the first people to watch every new episode. And all it said is, when pigs fly and your hair look cute. That's it. That's all she said. And I started cracking up, because when I read when pigs fly, I knew exactly what she was talking about. I didn't need to like be like, what do you mean, you know? So, when I saw her knit night last night, she had a present for me. She's so thoughtful like that, and I love it so much. It's this. You might be thinking, what are you doing with a Trapper Keeper? Okay, it's not like a Trapper. It's made by Mead, and it's the Mead Pro Platinum. Now, You see, we've had this dilemma of having a good way of keeping everything stored with our circulars. So she found these at Walmart, and you open it up. Okay, and there is a pocket here. I better mention that. And I have my, I love this thing. I got this in a swap. And it's a tape measure. It's my favorite. It's my tape measure I keep with me at all times. So I have that in this little pocket. Then this unzips here. All the way down. And there's a pocket inside here as well. Now, when you open this up, it has slots for pens. Do I have pens in there? No, I have crochet hooks. And then there's this big pocket. That's my needle sizer. I bought a needle sizer for Tangerine Designs, and it's off a size. Like, my size 3s fit in the size 4, my 4s fits in the 5s. So it's like a whole size off, so I don't even know where I put it because I was just so disappointed. So this was $3 from Knit Picks. All my Knit Picks fit in the size it's supposed to. So this is my go-to needle sizer. Now, when you open it up, she had bought a bunch of these things. These little, they're just little clear pouches, and they zip, and in it are circular needles. So, she just bought me, I think there's 5 of these little pouches to get me started, and I'm going to pick up some more, because I think I need at least a dozen altogether. So, right now this is my size 1s, my size 2s, 3s. So I'm going to go and I'm going to put my fixed and my interchangeables and just keep them all together, and then have one pouch with just my extra cables for my interchangeables. And then it gets cooler because she's like, look, there's a pattern keeper. So it has like this little file with patterns. So I thought it was a super awesome idea, and I couldn't believe that she got me one too. So I love it. I think it's a super, super awesome idea. I will definitely be using it for all my circs. And thank you, Sherry, because I know you watch. Next, let's move into All Spun Up. I did do a little bit of spinning this week. Not much. Not as much as I like to. This is the Exhilaration fiber I showed last week, which I'm going to go ahead and insert a picture here. And I don't know, it looks kind of Halloween-y to me. It didn't look very Halloween-y to me when it was in a braid, but now with the purple and the green and the yellow and the orange, I'm kind of like, it's kind of like jack-o'-lantern color to me. And then I did do it really, really super crazy barber poling because that's what I like. So let's see, the purple's more on the underside. The top seemed to have all the green and yellow on one side. But, I mean, it is so bright. I really, really like it. And it's still a little bit damp. I gotta hang it back up when I'm done recording because I can feel it was. I don't put a weight on mine when I hang it. I just hang it on a plastic hanger, like a plastic coat hanger, hang it outside on the thing. And I don't put a weight, so I can feel that it's still damp. This was the bottom, because this is where it's damp. And then I have nothing on the bobbin right now. Like I said, I've just, oh, craziness. I'm like, today's August 1st, right? So I'm already ready for August to be over. And it's just beginning. But I do have some fiber to show. I did also get some Dancing Dog Dye Works fiber, and this is in the Sugar Skulls colorway, which is one of my favorite. I have it on sock yarn, I have it on worsted weight yarn, and now I have it on fiber. So I had seen Michelle posted a picture that she was spinning some up on her spinning wheel. And it was amazing. I had thought, well, when I get a custom, I really want some owlies. And I still want some owlies. But her Sugar Skulls was so gorgeous. It has these bright pops of pink and aqua, some black and gray and green. Little tiny pops of white, which will probably get lost when I spin. It's just the nature of it. I've never been able to keep white in my fiber. So it is 100% Superwash BFL. I've never used Superwash BFL before, so I'm interested to see how it spins. But normally I like spinning BFL, so that's why I went for that. It was a pick your poison option on an update. And then the other fiber I have is Into the World had an update, and I was so in love with Captain Tight Pants, which was my club yarn I got a couple weeks ago. I think it was 2. Anyways, I had to get some coordinates. I've never bought coordinates for a club yarn before, and anytime I get something from an update, there's always this cute little sample. So this is the Strauss colorway. It is merino comb top, and then always fiber comes with these cute little Into the World tags. But this is pretty. It's blues, a little bit of greens, and what I think I'm gonna do, and this might be crazy, because somebody told me you're not supposed to go and spin 2 different breeds of yarn and ply it or anything together. But I get one of these, it's 1/4 ounce. It's just this tiny little bit. And I think when I get enough for, I don't know, maybe 2 ounces. I mean, I only have 3, so I have less than an ounce. I'm going to ply it all together. I'm just going to spin it all and ply it all together, and it's going to be crazy, and I'm going to love it. And it'll be just for me to make a little something, and that'll be that. But I bought all of the coordinates, and this time, normally there's only 2 coordinates. There were 3. I couldn't pick just one. I put all 3 of my cart, and I was like, at first I'm like, just go for it. Just get them all, and then decide. So this, they don't have names. Now, I would have thought this would have been fun if she would have named it, like, Brown Coats or Tight Pants. But it is just 22.21. And it is brown. Just really, I was like showing it like this. This is my favorite way to see the fiber. But it's just brown. It's a very pretty brown. It's like a chocolate brown. And it is 100% Ram Brulee, because that's what Captain Tight Pants was. And then oh, I'm going to sneeze. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Oh, tried to hold it in the best I could. The Knit Girls are having the Expand Your... Oh, the sun's coming out. The Expand Your Horizons fiber this month. And they picked Ram Brulee. And it's super soft and squishy. Like, I have a feeling it's going to plump. Or bloom. I guess bloom is the proper term. I say plump. I think it's going to plump when I wash it. Because it feels like... It's so squishy. It's like squishing a really soft sponge. It's pretty amazing. And it's funny because, you know, I have sensory issues, and some fibers, like the Romney, it was like, oh, touching a Brillo pen. It was horrible for me. But this I can handle, and it's just fine. Now this is 19.11. And this is like a red. My daughter's like, no, it's like raspberry red. And I'm like, no, to me it's a red. But it is gorgeous either way. So, let's see here. Once again, just super soft and squishy red. The Ram Brulee. I mean, there's nothing that like, there's no variegated. I feel like these are kind of boring. But I've never bought solid fiber before. So this, I mean, it's a little tonal, But otherwise, I'm like, I've never bought solids, so this is a new thing for me. And then this was my favorite. This was my favorite, even if I don't know that I want something this light to go with the Captain Tight pants. It is 9.3. I don't know how they pick the how Chris picks the numbers, because the numbers aren't anywhere close. But it is this bright, gorgeous aqua color. This is probably like my favorite shade of aqua. I love this so much. I'm like, oh. I almost would have loved to have had a second one of these, but just to have, but I didn't. I got one of each color, which was like a huge splurge because I'm trying not to buy. So trying not to buy. With, like I said, with birthdays and school, I'm just like tapped out fiber-wise, but the coordinates, you kind of got to get them when they come up because then they're gone. So, I love these so much. Very, very pleased. I think I'm going to absolutely love spinning the Rame Brulee. And let's hope that I do, because at this point, I have 16 ounces of it. I don't know that I will use it all with the Captain Tight pants, because somebody asked me in the Into the World group if I had plans for all the coordinates, and I don't. But I didn't want to. It's going to depend on yardage, as always. It always depends on yardage and what weight the yarn ends up being. So, and it'll depend on the pattern. Depending on, like I said, yardage will really limit me on what I can get. I'm still not very good at getting a lot of yardage, and I can spin fiber, like a fingering or close to a sport weight, and I'm like so happy with myself. I'm like, that's awesome, that's exactly what I wanted. But then I wash it and it blooms, and my fingering or sport weight is now a worsted, which I love worsted weight yarn. I buy worsted weight yarn 10 million times more than I buy sock yarn any day. I don't usually buy DK or sport at all. So I don't know. I don't know why it blooms so much. I'm assuming it's the fiber. I don't know if I don't put enough twist in it, if that could be part of the problem. I don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet. But I'm getting there. So I just figure when I spin this, I kind of want to spin it all back to back, so hopefully it'll be as consistent with each bump as I can be. So that's the plan. Sorry to ramble about that so much. Oh my gosh, I got like a little hiccup trying to come up. There. So that's it for me this week. I feel like it was a short one, but anytime I say that, I end up looking and it's long. So, I'm not sure. But hopefully, I will have some finished objects next week. I have to have those for Liam's done by next week. So, hopefully, a lot more finished objects. Hopefully, I finally will get to my even star again. And I have to start cranking out some more toys. And I promise for all of you waiting for Bot Bites to come out, which is the next pattern, there is a little preview of it in my pattern page with all my other designs. It is going to be a freebie. It will be out soon, hopefully next week, if time allows. So, thank you all for being patient. Keep getting those toys made for the knit-along. You have, a month left, which is plenty of time to get lots made. You can enter as many as you'd like. So, until next week, I am Jenna, also known as Retro Lemon on Ravelry, Plurk, Twitter, and Pinterest, although I don't tweet hardly ever, but I'm there if you want to join. So, until next week, I'll see you then. Bye.